We were promised progressive governance. Instead, we're getting digital compulsion and open insurrection. In one corner, Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, now pinning his hopes to a compulsory digital ID scheme to prove eligibility for work. Without the ID, you get no work. In the other, Andy Burnham, the Mayor of Greater Manchester, prowling the perimeter of Westminster like a lion who wants to escape the zoo and is now plotting his return. The spectacle might be entertaining if it weren't so serious. Britain's ruling party is cracking at the seams, its internal contradictions no longer simmering but erupting like little pustules. What began as a skirmish over policy is becoming a full-blown war of distraction, values, and ultimately leadership. Starting with the ID scheme, Starmer's announcement at the Global Progress Action Summit was designed to project authority and decision. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have a digital ID. The simplicity is chilling. Not you cannot work or you cannot claim benefits, but you may not work without digital state approval. The digital ID will be compulsory, linked to your photo, residency status, and national identity. It will not reside in your wallet, but on your smartphone, assuming you have one. It's a big assumption. This is governance by QR code, and while we are told this is about tracking illegal migration and restoring faith in Britain's borders, the deeper implication is this: the state will now mediate your very right to earn a living. The idea has been met with uproar from privacy campaigners, MPs, and even parts of the Labour base. The Open Rights Group calls it a pre-crime state, while over 760,000 people have signed a petition opposing it, and for good reason. No one should have to pass a biometric test to mop a floor or drive a van. And then there's Andy Burnham with timing so precise it looks almost choreographed. While Starmer tries to look like the adult in the room, Burnham's been touring the country and the airwaves, laying his own shadow manifesto. He calls for reintroducing the 50p top tax rate, a £50 billion investment in council house building, tax cuts for lower earners, a mansion tax via higher council tax on expensive London properties, and nationalising water and utilities. He's even had the gall to question Labour's entire economic strategy, telling the New Statesman, "We've got to get beyond this thing of being in hock to the bond markets." This phrase, dismissing the bond markets, has turned Burnham from a noisy mayor into a target of crossfire. The comparison with Liz Truss was instant. "Let me be clear," Starmer fumed. "It was 3 years ago this week that Liz Truss showed what happens when you abandon fiscal rules." Rachel Reeves' supporters echoed the warning. Bridget Phillipson warned that casual language about the bond markets is how working people ended up with soaring mortgages, and indeed, the markets did react. UK borrowing costs rose sharply, triggering panic inside government. One senior Labour figure put it bluntly: if you don't want to be in hock to the markets, don't announce plans that involve tens of billions in new borrowing. This is no different. It's no longer a difference of emphasis. It's a difference of philosophy and of temperament. Burnham's defenders see him as the sole Labour lost in its march towards technocratic centrism. His critics see a self-aggrandizing opportunist thrusting grenades into a stable government from the safety of Manchester. One MP said with biting accuracy, and his problem is everybody knows what he's about and nobody knows what he's for. Another more scathing still: it's gobsmacking that someone who stood by Corbyn and left Westminster when things got tough now wants to stroll back in like a conquering hero. Burnham, for his part, insists he is not plotting, merely available should Westminster want him. He claims Labour MPs have urged him to run, and despite not being an MP, he refuses to rule out a leadership challenge before May's local elections. He's not spoken to Starmer since May. He's booked for several appearances at the Labour conference. The symbolism is deliberate. The irony is excruciating. Starmer lectures us about economic responsibility while laying the foundations of a digital surveillance regime. Burnham denounces Westminster's alienation while proposing a radical tax and spend revolution that rattles the very markets Labour now fears. Both men in their own way are caught in contradictions. It's like seeing two versions of the fellow from Slow Horses, but without so much flatulence. Starmer, the former human rights lawyer, now enforcing state digital identity schemes. Burnham, the man who abstained on the two-child benefit cap, now calls it the worst of Westminster. One is trying to govern through technocracy. The other is campaigning through theatre. Both risk alienating the very public Labour was elected to serve. This isn't just about leadership. It's about what kind of Labour Party we now have. It's about a party of pragmatic authoritarianism in the service of border control, or one of economically illiterate populism wrapped up in municipal nostalgia. What is clear is that neither Starmer's QR code governance nor Burnham's bond market baiting offers a credible path forward on its own. What we are seeing instead is the collapse of discipline, the return of factions, the ominous rise of Reform UK in the background. Labour may have won the election, but it has not won the country. And in this civil war of spreadsheets versus slogans, the real losers are almost certainly the voters themselves, you and me.